welcome back to my channel, Outpost of Heaven. Today we are doing a Sunday reset, on a Sunday for the week ahead. And I feel like spiritually Sunday, like because of the Bible story, like Sunday's the last day. It's like God created the world and then Sunday he rested. Feels like the last day, but like in my head when I'm thinking about my life and our routines and our plans and scheduling and planning, I always feel like Sunday's the beginning. I do a Sunday weekly plan for myself and our family, but then my husband and I, right before bed, we like go through it and we do like a weekly planning session together so that we're on the same page. I have used the same planner for like 8 years in the past, and this year I went to go, well last year, 2025, I went to go order it and like their website was gone, nothing. Couldn't find it anywhere, and I was like, no, I've been using this planner forever and it's gone. I can't. So I asked for a lot of recommendations, and some recommendations that I had that I ended up going with this one is the Passionate Penny Pincher. It's a lot. I am like a more structured person. I want structure in a planner. I don't want like a notebook. I want a planner that has like a calendar and checklists, and this one is great. It's got a bunch of like, there's like stencils here and hold on, a bunch of fun little stickers and things too, which I've only used a couple of them. It's extremely structured though. Like this is a very structured planner, and so every day, like I want to show you all my details, but like there is a morning checklist and an evening checklist for like household duties, and then every week it gives you like one bigger job, like a bigger chore to do that maybe you don't normally do. For example, organize the pantry, deep clean the refrigerator, deep clean the freezer, organize under the kitchen sink, like kind of the bigger jobs that kind of get pushed away, you know, to the side. So that's really good because it's like a reminder to check those things out, you know. But I am the type of person that like if there's a list, I kind of have a hard time making sure that I don't put like my own value or my worth or my success or my happiness into accomplishing the list. And that's really hard for me because I feel like I have accomplished something and I have succeeded, and I can only be happy when the list is done. And with this, like there's no way I could do everything on the list every day. Like all of the morning jobs that they give you, like it's just so much. And sometimes it's like that doesn't apply to me or my life or my family or my house, you know? And so I just have to realize that like some of those things don't matter, and I can just don't think about it. Don't attach any happiness or success or accomplishment feelings to it. So I am still trying to go to do battle with those feelings and just realize that that the planner is for me and I am not for the planner. How is that? The planner's supposed to serve me and I'm not serving the planner. So I really do like it. I have some personal issues that I need to work through when it comes to like list making and attaching feelings to lists. Enough of the planner. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the types of things that I plan throughout the week. First things first, I go through appointments. If there's any like scheduling or appointments that need to happen, that goes first. For example, this week we have family home evening, so that's always gonna go on a Monday, our family home evening, and I have written down that I am in charge of it. Every week we alternate, my husband and I, we alternate who's in charge. And then we have a kid that's in charge with us. This week it's me and Shiloh, my 4-year-old boy, and we are going to Morgan City for a parade, for the Mardi Gras parade. That's what we're gonna do for family home evening this week. And then we have Inklings. I am babysitting for a friend. We have some Russian lessons. My kids, because my husband and I both speak Russian, we're trying to like teach our kids Russian, but they do have a Russian tutor once or twice a week. So we have like Russian lessons scheduled throughout. We do jujitsu. So jujitsu is happening, and then Friday I have bunko with my girlfriends. So those are the kind of things that go like the schedule things. Those get thrown on first. Next, I have a list of little, maybe like goals or bigger, just house chores or yard work things, like things that I'd like to get done this week. They also get scheduled. And something to keep in mind also, when you are running a big full household of other people, like you have to realize that the plan changes. You know, whatever gets written down here, it doesn't all happen. And sometimes it happens on different days, and sometimes it just doesn't happen at all. You have to let go of like the feelings attached to the tasks and the feelings attached to like what you think has to happen. And that has been a struggle of my whole homemaking journey, is like not putting feelings, not attaching feelings with like tasks to be done and people to love and take care of. So, one of the biggest lessons of motherhood, right, is to let it roll off your back. Like, just roll with the punches and let the spirit guide. You know, if things have to not get done, just let it go, let it go. And not only things not getting done, but like other things are going to come up as well. Someone gets sick and you need to help them out, or you need to babysit for a friend spontaneously, or you're going to make a meal for someone, or one of your own family members gets sick and we have to like just stay home all day and do nothing, or you know, the struggles of homeschooling where lessons take a lot longer than you think they should, or we're just stopping all lessons. I think it was President Hinckley, and I could totally be wrong, but I think it was President Gordon B. Hinckley that said, never let a job to be done become more important than a person to be loved. And that has been like the hardest lesson that I have had to learn throughout homemaking and motherhood. And I feel like it's finally starting to sink in. The next thing I plan is meals. So at this point I have my schedule, and some of these things are evening things. So now I know what I can schedule for meal planning that I might need to put on certain days or not on certain days, depending on the prep time. And a crock pot meal would be good for this evening because we have jujitsu. So if we can just go to jujitsu, come home, open the crock pot, and voila, we have dinner ready, that would be great. So I can schedule other meals that maybe take a little bit longer to prepare on nights that we're already going to be home. So I have that time to prepare. So we're going to do the meal plan and then the grocery list for the meals. I typically plan on making 3 to 4 meals a week. Sundays we go to my in-laws. They only live a few miles down the road, and so we always do like family Sunday dinner together, and then we'll just like kind of contribute something together and have something. Usually she makes the main dish, which is so nice. And so that's Sunday. And then this week, because we're going to a parade, it's an evening parade, I'm just gonna plan on like Chick-fil-A or something, because it is far. It's like an hour drive in the evening, and so that's just, there's not gonna be time to make or eat dinner before leaving. Tuesday we need a crock pot meal, so that's gonna be salsa chicken tacos with colorful corn salad. For the most part, I have used Pinterest like as a cookbook. Basically, it's almost the only thing I use Pinterest for these days is recipes. But I have cookbooks, and I have family cookbooks and recipes and really beautiful cookbooks. And so this year I am starting to try the things from the cookbooks and rely less on Pinterest. So I have a few cookbooks here. I have like my family cookbook that I took to college with me. It's like recipes that my mom had put together in a binder that I got to take to college. And then I have my husband's like extended family cookbook that we all contributed to, and they got it like printed and bound. So some of these recipes are from these two family ones, and then I have this grounded one. It's the Grounded Holidays one from Sarah Clark, the Dainty Pear. It's beautiful. This cookbook is fancy. Okay, I've only made a couple things from it so far, and I've had it for a couple of years. It's just gorgeous, and I don't think my kids would eat a lot of this. These are very like refined palate type of recipes, but I do want to try to experiment more with them because they're so pretty and they look delicious to me. So maybe some of my kids will like them. You know, we don't know until we try. So we're gonna try this week and I'm gonna say it all wrong. These are very fancy words. I don't know how to say them. This one's a quick cassoulet with sausage and cranberries, and it looks delicious. Let's see if you can see the picture right there. It looks really good, and I think I actually have almost all of the ingredients already. So, yes, and then I have one more crock pot recipe that we'll do. It's a crock pot Italian chicken from my mom's cookbook. And then I plan on doing I'll plan on 2 leftover nights. Doesn't mean that it's like gotta be leftovers. Like one of the nights I have Bunko here, which is like a game that like the girls, we all meet at someone's house and we play this game, and it's like just after dinner time, but I never like to cook a full meal and then go to Bunko because maybe it's selfish of me, but like there's always like food and treats and snacks and stuff at Bunko, so I'm like, I'm not gonna eat and then go to Bunko. Like I'm just gonna have like Bunko dinner. And so the kids would prefer anyway something simple and easy. So one night might be like the Bunko night, maybe like quesadillas or grilled cheese sandwiches or something really basic and easy. And then the next night is Saturday, last day, and we'll just plan on leftovers. Saturday is typically a like yard work, housework kind of a day. We don't typically do like a lot of adventures or outings on Saturdays. It's really like we're home, we're working. I love that about our Saturdays. So, but yeah, on those days we typically don't do like a full cooked meal. It's usually like leftovers or whatever we kind of pull out of the fridge and throw together. So really, I'm only planning on 1, 2, 3 actual cooked meals, and 2 of them are crock pot this week, so that's fantastic. At the same time that I'm picking out the recipes, I'm looking at the ingredients list and thinking, what don't I already have? So that starts the next kind of list or planning is the grocery list. And I used to write everything down. At this point, like we do Walmart Plus delivery, and it's amazing. It's such a game changer. So I kind of just make my list in Walmart, in the Walmart app, and then tomorrow, Monday morning, I'll schedule it and submit it to be delivered someday or sometime on Monday. So, and that grocery list would include like any of the ingredients that I would need for the meals that I'm making, plus like all the normal things that I, need or I'm running out of. I usually will go back in the pantry and do like a little take inventory, look in the fridge, what are we running out of, what do we need, put together the whole grocery list so that Monday morning it's ready for me to go ahead and submit that. Something that this planner has is a little spot for like scripture study, which is great. However, they have like scheduled in their own like scriptures to study, and that's just like not where my plan is. So right now for 2026, our church is studying the Old Testament, and coincidentally, whoever made this planner is also doing the Old Testament, and so yes, it is like the Old Testament throughout the whole planner, except that it's not on like the same schedule that we are at as a church. So like in this week in the planner it says Leviticus, we're not like there yet. This coming week for our Come Follow Me like reading scripture study curriculum, we're going through Genesis and Abraham, a section of Genesis and then a section of Abraham. So I go ahead and I cross out all of their study plans for each day and write my own, which is fantastic because then I can take what our curriculum is for Come Follow Me and break it up day by day. This day I'm studying this chapter and then this chapter, and then, you know, it's broken up so that it's not just like this big massive thing that I'm like, oh, at the end of the week I didn't do my scripture study. You know, I can see every day. It doesn't just say read the scriptures, but it has a plan on every day. And that can change, you know, if you feel like you need to study something else, or if the Spirit is leading you in a different direction, that's great, follow it, you know, at least you're getting your scripture study in. It doesn't have to be just Come Follow Me. And that's what I'm starting to learn too, is that I need to not just read and study to check the box, but like, what does my spirit need? What do I need to study? And to do it prayerfully and spirit-led. At this point, I would do a little bit of homeschool planning, but we really don't need to do a lot because we use the Good and the Beautiful, and it's very open and go. So I don't really have to do any planning for that. But if we wanted to take a field trip or read a certain book together, then that would kind of get scheduled in. Also, we have been trying to memorize a verse a week or a verse every 2 weeks. So I found a great verse that goes right along with our Come Follow Me study for this next week, and it's in the New Testament. It's James 2 verse 23, but it's talking about Abraham in the Old Testament. And it says, "And the scripture was fulfilled which saith, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of God." And I thought, how cool would that be to talk this week about being a friend of God and what that could mean. And even if we memorize just a tiny bit of that, because the kids are young, you know, my oldest is 9. I try to pick like a chunk of a verse if the verse is big, or just a small verse, something to get them memorizing, something to get them remembering scripture, and something that we can kind of talk about on the daily for the week. So that's going to be a good one. At this point, I think I'm pretty much done. Things are going to get added in and taken away throughout the week, and that's okay. But tonight I will review everything with my husband, and we'll make sure we're on the same page. He'll let me know when he's traveling this week and what days he's working late, or what days he has a church meeting or anything like that. My husband is the bishop of our ward, so some nights he needs to be gone for special church meetings that require his presence and his ministry. So yeah, we'll kind of combine our stuff, get the whole rest of the week situated. I would also be, at the end of this, kind of texting some friends, figuring out, do we want to have a play date this week? Are we going to go to a park? Are we doing the library? Like, what does everyone want to kind of do so we can get together with some friends, some other homeschool families? Gives me something to look forward to, also to have some adult conversation. Thank you so much for joining me for this video on resetting, having a Sunday reset for the rest of the week. I know it makes a huge difference to have a plan, even if the plan gets thrown out the window and you do something else. A few weeks ago, we had a plan. You know, I do weekly planning every week. We had a week plan, and then we all got the flu. The whole planner, out the window. You know, nothing happened. We were down for days and days. So stuff like that happens, but we are supposed to be prepared. You know, when you're prepared, you don't have to fear. I feel like it also just helps me to feel a little more settled, more able to like handle life when I have a plan. And I know that not everybody's like that. I've gone through phases of survival mode, you know, when you are first trimester pregnant and you can't do a single thing and you have no plan and you just lay on the couch. I get that. Been there, done that a lot of times. And then I mean, after this baby is going to be born, I'm sure I'll be on the couch with a newborn, just like resting and soaking it all up. But it just, even if that's your plan, even if your plan is to lay on the couch and rest, that's plan. What is frustrating to me is when I don't have a plan and then I do nothing, and then I'm mad at myself because I did nothing. You know, at least if you plan on doing nothing, you follow the plan, right? But yeah, I just can totally testify that like having a plan helps. It helps mentally and spiritually and emotionally. So get your weekly planning done in. Let me know if you have questions. Please reach out in the comments. I'd love to connect with you. Bye, friends.